Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm continuing with my Bjork discography journey, and this is the third Bjork album that I will be listening to on this channel. We are checking out her debut album. I already listened to her third album, Homogenic, and then I moved on to Post, her second album, and now I'm moving on to her debut album. So I'm going backwards. Typically on these discography journeys, I start with their first album and go forward, but in this case, I'm going backwards, which doesn't usually happen, but hey, what you gonna do? So I'm looking at the track list. I don't recall hearing any of these songs before, but if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. Her very first album from 1993, released 17 years ago. 27 years ago, oh my god. There are 11 songs and the album is 49 minutes. I don't have much to say right now, so we're just gonna dive into the album with track number 1, Human Behavior. Already, so that was track number 1, Human Behavior. I really like this song. I enjoyed listening to the production in particular. Just like all the other Björk albums I've listened to so far on this channel. It was definitely interesting, it was unique, and it was pretty cool. Whenever I'm about to do one of these Björk videos, I always have to brace myself for what I'm about to listen to because I know it's going to be a very unique experience. There's definitely no logic to human behavior. So now let's move on to track number 2, Cried. Already, so that was track number 2, Cried. And once again, this was another song I enjoyed listening to. In particular, again, the production. The production is very catchy and it's really resonating with me. It's getting my body moving and energized, and this album is making me happy. I don't know if that's the intention, I don't know, but this album's putting me in a good mood. It's a hot day and I'm dressed lightly. I move carefully through the crowd, hear everyone also vulnerable, and I am as well. There's no one here and people everywhere. Crying cause I need you. Crying I can feel you. Crying cause I need you, and cried I can. So now we're gonna move on to track number 3, Venus as a Boy. Already, and that was track number 3, Venus as a Boy. Once again, I mean, this album, the music in this album is like a symphony in my ears. It's beautiful to listen to, and it's very pleasant, and this track is no exception. This whole album so far has been very worldly sounding, and I was trying to figure out the word I wanted to use there, and I had to look at the genres of the album, and it does say world as one of the genres, so that's the word I was reaching for. This album is very worldly sounding. His wicked sense of humor suggests exciting sex. His fingers, they focus on her touches. He's Venus as a boy. I'm definitely enjoying the aesthetic of this album. It's very pleasant to listen to. So now let's move on to track number 4. There's more to life than this, the live version. Alrighty, and that was track number 4. There's more to life than this, the live version. And listening to this song, I definitely felt like I was at a party or a bar. It just had that atmosphere. She was having a lot of fun, and I like the lyrics. She's saying, "Come on, girl, let's sneak out of this party. It's getting boring. There's more to life than this. It's still early morning. We could go down to the harbor and jump between the boats." As I was listening to this song, I felt like I was at the bar at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., just leaving the bar, and still dark out, and you just wander the streets, you're kind of drunk. It was just giving me that vibe. We could nick a boat and sneak off to this island. I could bring my little ghetto blaster. There's more to life than this. So now let's move on to the 5th track, Like Someone in Love. Already, so that was track number 5, Like Someone in Love, and I'm in love with this album. There's so much variety, so many different sounds. This track, the harp, I always love listening to the harp. It's so beautiful, and I like how in the background you can hear traffic, and sometimes one could mistake the sound of traffic for the sound of waves crashing onto the shore or a strong wind during a storm, and it's just really interesting the different sounds I'm picking up on this album. So now let's move on to track number 6, Big Time Sensuality. Okay, and that was track number 6, Big Time Sensuality. I was not ready for all the dancing I would be doing in this video, all the bouncing up and down. And I'm having a lot of fun, a lot of dance songs on this album. I'm finding some of the songs on this album are quite commercial sounding, more so than her next 2 albums, Post and Homogenic. What I also love is when she uses that growl in her voice. I don't know the technical word for that, but when she does that, you know what I'm talking about. I always love it when she brings that out. I will say though, I enjoy her dance pop sounding songs like this one, Big Time Sensuality. I enjoy her more experimental songs, the songs that kind of leave your mouth open and awe and leave you confused, and they're a bit complex to the ears. I like those sorts of Bjork songs. So now let's move on to track number 7, One Day. Okay, and that was track number 7, One Day. And this was another good song I enjoyed listening to. I like the sound of the fireworks and the production. Just like all the other songs, I'm enjoying the production, lots of different sounds, and it's really pleasing to the ears, like I said already. I feel like I'm not as excited listening to this album as I was with Homogenic and Post. I understand that Homogenic, my first listening video to that, was the very first time I ever heard Björk in my life, so it was really exciting for me to do that video because it was my very first time being exposed to Björk. So not only was the album itself exciting and interesting, but listening to Björk for the first time was interesting and exciting. But this album, I'm just not as, I guess, wowed as I was with Post and Homogenic. But once again, we do have some classic Björk lyrics in this song. One day, when you're ready, an aeroplane will curve gracefully around the volcano with the eruption that never lets you down. I can feel it. And the beautifulest fireworks are burning up in the sky just for you. I can feel it. So now let's move on to track number 8, Aeroplane. I love the sounds of nature and yeah. Okay, and that was track number 8, Aeroplane. I love the jazz production on this album. I love jazz music. I always enjoy listening to it, and that combined with the worldly sounds on this track, I heard a lot of nature, and it was interesting. I mean, I honestly never know what to expect going into a Björk song. You know, just always something new and different. This track might be one of my favorites on the album so far. One word on the phone makes me happy, one touch, but one touch directly makes me ecstatic. He's away, this ain't right, I'm alone, I'm taking aeroplane across the world to follow my heart. I mean, that's horribly romantic, I will say. Jumping on a plane to follow your heart and be with the one you love. I mean, that sounds like a Julia Roberts movie, let's be real here. So now let's move on to track number 9, Come to Me. Okay, and that was track number 9, Come to Me, and this was another pleasant sounding song. I'll catch you, destroy all that is keeping you down, and then I'll nurse you, I'll protect you. You know that I adore you. You know that I love you. So don't make me say it. It would burst the bubble, break the charm. It is a sweet song. She's talking about caring for this person, protecting this person. I don't know if it's the same person she's talking about in track number 8, Aeroplane, where she's saying she needs to follow her heart and go across the world on an airplane to be with this person, to feel their touch. So I don't know if this is the same person, but it sounds like Björk might be in love and she's really interested in this person, and she wants to do everything in her power to protect them and love them as much as she can. So now let's move on to track number 10, Violently Happy. Alrighty, and that was track number 10, Violently Happy. This was another track I really enjoyed listening to. I probably sound like a broken record because I've said that multiple times already, but it's true. In my opinion, this is another club-ready song from Björk. It's something you'd hear at your local club, at a bar. It's energizing, it's fun to listen to dance to. Again, it's more commercial sounding than what I'm used to from Björk because I've listened to Post already and Homogenic, and this album definitely does sound more commercial than those other two albums, I will say. That's just my opinion. Violently Happy, I'm driving my car too fast with ecstatic music on. Violently happy, I'm getting too drunk. Violently happy, I'm daring people to jump off roofs with me. Only you can calm me down. I'm aiming too high. Soothe me. I will say though, just like her other two albums, Homogenic and Post, the lyrics on this album are just as interesting. So now we have come to the end of the album, track number 11, the Anchor Song.
I live by the ocean. I dive into it. This is where I'm staying. This is my home.
Okay, and that was the final track of the album, the Anchor Song. And this was a great way to wrap up the album. I live by the ocean, and during the night, I dive into it, down to the bottom, underneath all currents, and drop my anchor. This is where I'm staying. This is my home. Enough said. It's a great song. Once again, I enjoyed listening to like the rest of the album, and the production of this whole album was remarkable. That was the highlight for me, the production. Each song, most songs sound different from one another, and it was an interesting journey. But I will say, I don't feel like this album is as memorable as Homogenic and Post. There's definitely more commercial sounding songs on this album. It wasn't as excited as the other two albums. You know, there were a couple songs on her other albums, Homogenic and Post, that left my jaw open, you know, kind of took my breath away, left me confused, and I didn't know what she was talking about, and the sounds was just very strange. I had a couple moments like that on, you know, this album, but as a whole, I enjoyed it. I just didn't find it as memorable as Post or Homogenic. And that's just my opinion. There were some great dance tracks on this album, tracks you hear at the club to get your body moving. And I also will say that this album left me happy. It left me satisfied. You know, it was a joy to listen to. I liked reading the lyrics. They weren't as cryptic as lyrics I read on her Homogenic and Post albums. And as a whole, it was an enjoyable experience, and I did enjoy the album. I mean, she played around with so many different sounds. You know, there were a lot of live sounds, like the sounds of a crowd at a bar, perhaps, and then there were sounds of traffic, and there was also the sound of fireworks and nature sounds, and it was very beautiful. And there was jazz, there was dance, there was just so much happening on this album. It definitely wasn't predictable. None of Björk's songs are predictable. Going into a Björk album, you never really know what to expect. At least I don't know what to expect. And going forward, I hope that she maintains the aesthetic of being very different and quirky. She doesn't lose that sense of individuality, and she remains Björk with that interesting voice of hers, the cryptic lyrics, and the amazing, soulful, and magical production on all of her songs. So what do you guys think of the album? Where does this rank on your Björk ranking list of all her albums? And what are your favorite songs? So I think that's officially all I want to say. Thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music, you can check out my playlist, so on and so forth. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care, have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.